just right here at the beginning, I want to mention that normally for this month, Liz would be up here leading the meeting, but she has a school commitment. So she asked me to run the meeting for tonight. So good evening, everyone. My name is Lee Cruz. By the way, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everyone online, adults and children. So welcome everyone. We're gonna ask people online to mute their microphones and use the chat box to share information like your name and if you want what street you live on in Fairhaven or what agency you're affiliated. And we're going to start the recording, call the meeting to order at 6:05 and ask for the roll call.
Hi. So I have Liz, who's absent, Gina, here, Abby,
here on Zoom from Philadelphia. Hi, everyone.
Adam,
Here.
Lee,
Present.
and Christina, myself, I'm present.
Okay, great. Okay. Feel free to introduce yourself in the chat box. Have we established quorum?
I haven't updated anything yet, Adam. You're gonna have to give me some time.
Okay, so
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the in-person people. We're close. So if there's 3 more people. I saw a couple alders and I saw a police lieutenant. So that's all I've got so far for the in-person besides the board.
for a regular attendee, regular member, someone who's a member of good standing, would you raise your hand? So Marianne is here, Sarah Miller, Carolyn Smith,
Okay.
Alan is here, and Lieutenant is here.
All right.
So have we?
I'm doing it right now as we're kind of talking.
Yeah, I think I'm still going through online people too.
Okay, then let's move on and then we'll come back. Okay, we will need to have quorum to approve the minutes from the last meeting. That's why we're going through the attendance. Okay, so let us then go to the financial report, and I'll just give you a heads up that because it is the first meeting of the year, the financial report will be a little bit more detailed. And Gina is prepared for this. There's also copies of what she's presenting right here on the table next to the agenda if you're interested in following along. Gina, floor is yours. Gina, could I ask you to move to the presenting chair? Right, yeah, and then that. I'm sorry, I now understand what you mean. Well, no, right there, the one that's in the corner.
Right
and then
here?
you can face, in both directions.
Okay. The December financial report, the beginning balance, it was $3,661.26 in November. In December, we had 2 expenditures to reimburse our vice chair, who has graciously paid for the Zoom meetings for the last few years, domain hosting, and also website hosting. So he was reimbursed for Zoom expenditures for 2022 and 2023 to 2024. $318.52, which brings our December balance to $3,342.42. So far in 2023, our vice chair, we reimbursed him almost $500, and I'm waiting for more expenses. Here.
Sorry, can you speak just a little bit louder? It's quiet here on the Zoom side of things in the room for some reason.
Where did you lose me?
I just say, yeah. I heard you were talking about the contributions that I had paid for Zoom and everything, and you reimbursed me, but I got a note that some people were having difficulty hearing, so I just wanted to make sure that everyone can hear everything.
December ending balance was $3,342.42. That's due to, I put the light, I can't see this number, $318.82 was reimbursed to the vice chair for the Zoom host, pay for the Zoom for 2022 and 2023. Is that better?
I think we're having, it might be something on the presenters, like the computer side, least computer side of things, because it's lower than it usually is.
I put the audio on max here. Yeah, everything's on max.
And it's on the Tonor.
Yep.
So if you're having difficulty hearing on Zoom, I know it's awkward because when somebody from Zoom talks, it gets real loud, and then somebody in person talks and it's real quiet. If you click on the bottom, it says captions. That it's a lot better at picking up things than you would think. So it can help you make things out.
Hold on. Let me just see. Am I on the right? Yeah. Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear?
I mean, we can. It's just a little bit more muffled and quiet than it usually is.
Yeah. Well, I can certainly. Put this- Okay. Go ahead.
Adam, 1, 2, 3, is that better?
Yeah, I think that's better for me. Zoom people, give us thumbs up, thumbs down. Does it seem better for you? No, it seems not better for most people.
That's
Really?
hold on. Let me just see. Oh, hold on. This will be right. Okay.
Oh, something just changed.
Yep. Give me 1 second. I'll put.
Oh, hey, I can hear everything. There we go. Everyone loves it. Thank you.
Okay, there we go. Now, go ahead.
Okay, rather than take up more time, Adam, can you put the year-end financial report up? Because that will basically.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, 1 second. It's in one of these tabs. All right. Bring this in.
This is the year-end financial report. As you see, in January, we began with the balance of $4,138.95. This year, there were more expenditures. As I mentioned, we haven't been paying or reimbursing our vice chair for Zoom charges, web hosting, and also domain charges. So that means that we need more money because we can't continue to have our vice chair supporting all these hybrid meetings and all our technology. So that left us with a balance of $3,342.42 for year ending, and I anticipate that number going lower because, as I mentioned, the charges that we have to reimburse our vice chair for.
Is that the end of your report?
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that report. This is an excellent opportunity to then tease you with an announcement that will come later, which is that TV right over there that you see behind Gina, you're on the screen, that LG is being raffled off $10 a ticket, and we're hoping to raise somewhere between maybe $600 and $1,000. So we need your help buying tickets, we need your help selling tickets, and then somebody will go away with a very large TV. And if you're not a large TV person, that large, like Sarah and I are, then please consider buying a ticket for somebody else that you think might enjoy it, or an organization that you think might need it. And we'll talk more about that later. Okay, we're gonna move on in our agenda. Thank you very much for that report. And then,
Tell Adam I updated the online.
okay.
Oh,
so
we
let's-
hit quorum. Sorry, yes.
Good form. Okay, all of you have been given access to the minutes, either online in the email you received, or there's a copy over there on the table. May I have a motion from someone, either in the room or on online, a motion to approve the minutes?
I move to approve the minutes for the last meeting.
Mary Ann moves it, second. Okay, so we don't have to vote because you've been given an opportunity to comment and it's been moved that we approve them. Okay, we're gonna move on in our agenda and go to Lieutenant Fumiani. And Lieutenant Fumiani, if you'd be kind enough to come up to the seat right there in the corner, right there, and then that way you can have your computer and look whichever way you wanna look.
Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
So I'll go quickly through some stats for the year, and then just because it's our this is the last meeting. December was our last meeting for the year, but we have our end of year stats. So I want to go through some of those stats. They're kind of where we predicted they would be, and we could talk about that as we move along. Some year-end stats, and then we'll go into some of the incidents that happened in December. Give me 1 second while I find out what my computer did with the year-end stats here. This past year, we saw a reduction in a couple of interesting areas. And so overall, violent crime in Fairhaven overall is down. The concern that we have obviously is our incidents of gunfire. So we had 6 homicides, which was up from 4 last year. And then we have, give me 1 second. 6 homicides, which are up from 4 last year. We have solved, I believe, in 5 out of the 6 of them. So we've arrested the offender in those cases. There were an increase. There was also an increase in shots fired incidents, and we attribute that one, I think there's more shots fired, but also to the fact that Fairhaven has an expansion of ShotSpotter across the entire district. So this is the first full year where ShotSpotter has covered the entire district. And so 55 incidents up from 35 last year. We'll see how those numbers hopefully decrease over the years, that now we can track them more accurately. Still encourage everyone to call if they think they hear gunfire, even if you think that could be fireworks, it could be gunfire. Call us just on the off chance that it is not, and we will go out and investigate. Other issues that we saw a huge increase in stolen cars this year in the city. Between Kias and Hyundais, they really increased our numbers significantly. One of the things that we've done to try to combat that, the police department rolled out some of the clubs that were outdated up until recently, when now everyone with a Kia or a Hyundai should have one. It prevents the theft of the vehicle. And so over the last couple of months, specifically October, November, and December, it seems like Kia and Hyundai have done some updates to their software that prevents the vehicles from being stolen. And so the methods that the individuals, mainly juveniles, were using to steal vehicles have since been neutralized with some updates to some software. And so unfortunately, what we've seen is a number of cars with broken windows where people are attempting to steal the vehicles and can't because of the update to some of the software. I'm hoping to see the trend decrease as it has recently. In the last couple of months, we've seen a decrease in stolen cars, specifically in Fairhaven. In the last month, there were only 4 stolen cars in Fairhaven. And so that's significant, where some weeks we'd see 6 or 8 stolen cars. What we do see now, as the Kias and Hyundais have started to subside a little bit, we see because the months are colder, the weather starts to get colder, people start to do warm up their cars, leave their keys in them, or when they're quickly running into a gas station or some other store, they leave the car running and run inside. So as much as you can, try to turn your cars off. I know it's inconvenient. If you're warming up your car, just make sure 1, it locks, and 2, it can't move if the key fob is not in it. Some vehicles, you'd be surprised how many vehicles move without the key fob in it if it's started. We also saw a huge increase, in a good way, in motor vehicle stops in Fairhaven, specifically in the entire year. So last year, we had 751 motor vehicle stops conducted by police officers. In 2022, we had 750. In 2023, we had 1,757. And so that's a significant 134% increase in our motor vehicle stops. That's largely attributable to our motorcycle unit and our plainclothes and criminal intelligence unit and shooting task force. A couple other numbers for us. We saw decreases in assault with firearms. So we had 14 people shot in the district this year. Last year we had 18. Aggravated assaults, which is someone assaults another person and causes serious physical injury to the person, were down 36% at 35 this year compared to 55 last year. Another number that is an interesting increase, we had a 30% increase in burglaries. And so there were 63 burglaries this year. That was up from 48 last year. And then another area that I think is an interesting stat to look at is that our overall, we talked about confirmed shots fired. I wanted to give you the actual number. The other one was off the top of my head. The actual number was 55 this past year, and I was off by 5 on the previous year. It was 40 incidents of shots fired in 2022. And so that's all the stats for the previous year in Fairhaven. I will move on to the last month. Officers have been incredibly busy the last month in Fairhaven. We've seized a ton of firearms. Officers are out, plainclothes officers and officers in patrol have seized a number of firearms as a result of different investigations. One that immediately jumps to mind is at Ferry and Chatham. Activity has picked up around there with some instances of drug sales, especially around Meadows Market. There was an incident on 12/27 in the early morning hours, 4:52 in the morning. An individual was walking around out there, fires a gun down Ferry Street. We have some surveillance cameras in the area that were able to capture that incident. Later on in the day, the officers working in the real-time crime center observed the same person walking around with his hand in his pocket. Officers go out to identify him, and lo and behold, they catch him with the firearm that was used in that shots fired incident. So that's amazing. The technology has been able to help us significantly to remove guns off the street. That's a really simple, easy example. Another incident that happened on Grand Avenue last 2 weeks ago, officers were dispatched to an incident where a person was shot. Officers responded at 7:30 at night on 12/14 to 284 Grand Avenue where a person was shot. Again, our surveillance cameras in the area captured the entire incident. In the real-time crime center, officers were able to circulate some photos, and Officer Tito Rivera and Heriberto Rodriguez, who you met last month, recognized the individual, even though there was a very small piece of his face showing. Officers were able to conduct surveillance on him over the last couple of weeks, and they were able to apprehend him and charge him for conducting that shooting on December 14th. And so the technology that we've added to Fairhaven has been a huge help for us in holding people accountable, especially people accountable who are looking to perpetrate the violence out in Fairhaven. One of the things that I was interested in is how many guns we seized last year in New Haven. And so the police department in all of 2023 seized 278 firearms. 37 of those were ghost guns. There were 260 related firearms arrests. And so that's basically one every day or so. In 2022, we seized 246 firearms, 47 were ghost guns, and there were 222 firearms arrests. And so 38 more firearms arrests in 2023 with less police officers and no police contract. And then also same thing, 2023, 278 firearms, up from 246 firearms. In the last month alone, officers seized 10 guns between East Shore and Fairhaven. That's just while the holiday season was going on, officers were grabbing guns off of people. Also, might I add, not shooting anyone. And so our use of force is very low. Our apprehensions are very high. Officers are doing this on a daily basis where they're running after people. There was an incident just happened, I'll report on it next month, but I think it's worth noting. Officer Rudnick was in the area a couple of days ago. It was like around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, a person gets their car sideswiped on Ferry Street. He's in the area, sees the vehicle get sideswiped. The offender in this instance continues driving, doesn't stop. Officer Ruzek tries to catch up to the vehicle to get a plate, and then attempts to stop the vehicle. The vehicle has had one of its tires popped. It hit during the motor vehicle accident, one of the tires was popped, and so the vehicle could not drive away. The individual drives into Fairhaven Heights and leaves his car and takes off running. While he's running, he removes a firearm from his waistband and is running with a firearm in his waistband. So this is for those of you who remember, over a year ago, Officer Chad Curry was shot at Blatchley Chapel. Very similar incident. This is a low-level motor vehicle accident that we would just go and exchange information, insurance information, and move on from there. But it turns rapidly into a person running away from officers with a firearm in his hands. He also had a significant amount of crack cocaine and heroin on him, but he was apprehended without incident and taken to jail. And so officers are working nonstop, even though we have fewer officers. Even through the holidays, we were working nonstop. One incident, the last incident that I want to talk about, is a carjacking that occurred on Clifton Street in the Heights. An individual was walking out of his car just after 9:30 p.m. It's the day after Christmas. He's getting ready to go to work. He is approached by two males with firearms. They steal his vehicle from him. Officers are able to use our surveillance systems that we have to identify the plate, the direction of travel. Canine Officer Kern sees the vehicle that two armed people are in, driving at Grand and Poplar. So he and I both decide to stop that vehicle. We attempt to stop it on Chapel Street. It flees from us. We chase it through downtown into the Beaver Hills neighborhood up Dixwell into Beaver Hills. The vehicle unfortunately crashes into another vehicle. Two offenders flee from the vehicle. We apprehend one of them. That individual was apprehended. There was two firearms located in the vehicle. One was a BB gun that looks exactly like a real firearm, and the other was a 9mm handgun. The individual that was arrested has been arrested at least 3 times prior for very similar incidents in the city of New Haven. And so can't emphasize enough that the officers are out dealing with a lot of issues day in and day out. We're trying to get guns off the street, trying to eliminate some of the violence going on. That is pretty much all I have for December, unless anyone has questions on specific incidents around the district that I
Quick
could.
question, just your definition, can you just say quickly what a ghost gun is for people that may not be familiar with that?
Sure. So a ghost gun, there's some formal terminology that I don't have a formal definition for, but it's basically a firearm that is created by someone at home.
3D printed.
So they're very, there's some different ways that they can create them. They basically are able to obtain the pieces that make a firearm in different manners legally. And then once they assemble the firearm, obviously it becomes illegal. We've interrupted, the ATF has interrupted a couple of different manufacturers, people who just make them in their homes and sell them on the street. And so.
And key also is the fact that it doesn't have a serial number,
Correct.
so it's not, you can't trace it the way you can a conventional gun, just for people to know.
Thanks, Lee.
Yeah, Alder Miller had a question.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so recently, so we've been working nonstop with a highlight, I guess, of last year, where we've been working with the state's attorney's office, Alder Miller. A number of community members have been instrumental in requesting that the court in New Haven hold people accountable for the crimes that they're committing in Fairhaven specifically, and specifically at the Grand and Atwater intersection, where there's an open air drug market that occurs every day. We arrested an individual there today who was on parole, who had crack cocaine, heroin, selling in that particular area. One of the main players out there was Curtis Duarte Sr. Mr. Duarte has a long history of crime and sale of narcotics in the city of New Haven. He was arrested with over a pound of marijuana at the location a while ago. I'd say probably over a year ago now. As a result of some really good conversations with court and emphasizing how Mr. Duarte is, despite all efforts from a number of different fronts to try to get him to change his behavior, he was uncooperative with all those efforts and was continuing to sell drugs at the intersection of Grand and Atwater. He was arrested as a part of a special condition on one of his releases, was that he was not to go to the Grand Cafe parking lot. He was there 2 days after that restriction was put on him, and Officer Torres authored a warrant for his arrest for violating a judge's conditions of release. I'm happy to report that the court saw that it was necessary to hold Mr. Duarte accountable for his incessant disrespect to the neighborhood and violation of the law, and they sentenced him to 2 years in prison for all of the violations that he's committed at Grand and Atwater. Hoping that other people will learn from that message, and we're trying to reduce the amount of activity that's going on there. I'm hearing your complaints. We're trying to bring those complaints up to other individuals who have some effect on how long people can be held accountable for what they're doing on the street. It's very frustrating to me that pretty much there's not someone selling drugs on Grand Avenue or Ferry Street that I haven't already had officers arrest, had experience with before, and they're still out not listening to any of our rules in society to be productive members of society. They're out continually selling drugs that are lending themselves or contributing to overdoses. Violence in the neighborhood is almost all of our violence is related to drugs and drug sales. And so I'm happy that the court was able to hold this person accountable, and I'm hoping that it sets an example for those who are refusing to work with community members. And this is not a situation where we just went in one time and said, hey, you're trespassing, you're going to go to jail for 2 years. This was after hours and hours of conversations and attempts to try to get someone to change their behavior with a bunch of city resources. And unfortunately, the criminal justice system has to step in because people's behavior one person should not be allowed to impact the way that the neighborhood lives and lives every single day. So I think that's pretty much it, Sarah.
Yeah, I would just add that, I mean, personally, none of us want anybody to go to jail, but this was in many ways a breakthrough. We've been trying for literally over a year to get court to take some kind of action. And so this conditional release, which I think just makes a lot of sense, gives people a chance to just not go back to that location. The fact that he was continuing to violate really showed what an extreme case he was. And the reason why this was necessary. And I think we now have court's attention in a way that should help us to clean up some of these corners over time. So I really appreciate the cooperation of the police and of the CAO's office and others in the city who have really been collaborating to try to make this happen.
Any questions in the room? Any questions online? Raise your hand or. Okay, seeing no questions, we're gonna move on. Thank you very much for saying.
Thanks, everyone.
We're gonna move on to the LCI report. Carmen, you're not in the room. Yep, okay, great. Can you?
My camera isn't working. I don't know why.
Okay, just do your thing.
Well, first of all, Happy New Year to all of you. May this coming year be a very prosperous and healthy year for you. In terms of my report, it's going to be very short because I was only in for about half a month. I took almost 2 weeks off for vacation. And right now I'm basically wrapping up the year with reports. So I'm spending a lot of time on end of year reports, quarterly reports, every kind of report you can conceive of. But the one thing that has struck me is I have been driving around just to, look at the neighborhood, and it has struck me how much illegal dumping has been going on. It is absolutely unbelievable. And I had a conversation with a gentleman today who's actually victimized all the time. And we pick up all the time there. And he is so sick and tired of all the dumping. And I really don't know, I'm putting it out to you, what we can do to curb people's behavior on illegal dumping. I send them notices of violation. They clean up. Then it's back again. I talk to them. They clean up. Then it's back again. It's really one of those cycles that is very difficult to get a hold of. And I've never had this problem in the other neighborhoods that I've worked in, Newhallville or Worcester Square. So it's very, I think, very interesting. Fairhaven's very interesting in that you can talk to people about not illegally dumping, and you can talk to people about overflowing trash cans and keeping the trash contained and don't put them out early. And there just seems to be no interest in doing the right thing. And so I put it out there to you, hoping that I could get some ideas from you as to what to do in terms of this situation or what you think is going on.
Do you have anything else to report before we ask for questions or comments?
No, that's about it. That's it. Because most of my time
Do you
now.
have any questions or comments in the room or online? I don't see anyone in the room. Adam?
So I'm just curious, you're talking about illegal dumping. Is this people not like they're just kind of like filling their backyard full of trash and whatnot, or is this people like coming by and dumping their personal trash onto somebody else's property?
Exactly.
And then so it's that second, but then it's like the property owner's responsibility, like you're citing the property owner even though they didn't do anything.
Exactly. It is always the property owner's responsibility to take care of any, whether or not he put the trash out there, whether or not he dumped the furniture or he dumped the trash bags or he dumped the, whatever it may be. Even if he didn't do it, it's his responsibility to pick it up and pay for the cost.
So, well, is that, as I say, is that something that we can say, see, clicks, fix? Hey, somebody just dumped, a sofa on my front lawn. I don't have to pay the large sofa fee, do I?
No, if you can prove that someone illegally dumped it, then you do not have to pay. If you cannot prove that you didn't dump it, then you have to pay a bill for it and a fine.
Okay, well, Carmen, you're kind of painting us into a corner. There's nothing we can do about that right now. If someone has a concern about that, that's a city policy procedure that people can talk to their alder if they're concerned about that, because we're not going to resolve that here. Any other questions in the room? Any other questions online? Can you raise hands? Carmen, thank you very much for your report.
Thank you, thank you.
We're gonna move on, next point. I'm sorry? Did you have a question? No. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so next point on the agenda is just a reminder we do every month that we do have a representative on the Civilian Review Board of the Police Department. His name is Jawan Carter. His information is on the agenda, and he presents every quarter about what's going on in terms of any issues with the police. So if you have a question or a concern, you can reach out to Jawan. His contact information is under item 6 on the agenda, and it's there every month. Moving on to economic development, I believe I did see Kathleen Crowledge. Kathleen, unmute yourself. Happy New Year, and
Happy New Year.
What's going on in economic development?
Some good things. Sorry, I'm in a space where there's some ancillary noise. I apologize. Mill River, well, the city got a new grant in the amount of $5 million to support investment in the Mill River district, which, as you know, touches Fairhaven. So I don't have details as to how that money is going to be spent down. That is coming, but we were successful in securing that grant. Also coming would be a meeting in regard to public transportation. Some traffic counts were done, and that data has been received and will go back to the community in a sort of like a design meeting as to how improvements can be made based on this data. This is all part of the Grand Avenue project. And actually, that's all the notes I have from Mike Piscatelli. Alder Miller probably has more information about some other projects that are ongoing, and of course, whatever developments at Strong School.
Is that something you want to touch on now, or you want to wait till your report?
Do it at the end.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Kathleen. Let me see, are there any questions about anything that was mentioned? None in the room that I see. Any questions online? Let me remove the pin so we can see. I don't see any raised hand. Oh, yep, I do. Dennis.
No,
Oh,
that's
well,
your
I'm
hand.
sorry, that's
That's
me.
your-
I've done that before, I apologize. Okay, I don't see any questions online. Okay, thank you very much, Kathleen, and again, Happy New Year. Okay, so from this point forward, I'm saying this mainly for new people at the meeting, so you know what's going on here. From point 8 for the next section, we have an outline of a number of categories that were established a few years ago in which we have people report or present. And these only have in common that we group them together. They're not necessarily in some logical way, some way that we thought they were connected for presentation. So with that said, the first item on the agenda under responsive government, economic and community development is Mary Ann Moran, who is requesting, while I'm mentioning what you're going to speak about, if you could come up to the chair right there. And so she's requesting $250 from the Fairhaven Community Management Team to build 7 garden beds at Grand Acres Community Garden. And I'll let her just kind of give you the rest of that.
Yep.
And the floor is yours, Mary Ann.
Okay, so I am the coordinator in Fairhaven for Gather for 9 community gardens that are very active. And Grand Acres is the biggest one with 44 people gardening in it. It is mostly immigrant women and men, many Latin American. There is probably half the people there that have been in the Fairhaven Clinic diabetes program that are also connected to Gather and learn how to cook and also grow their own food. Last year when I was at the garden one day, I realized that a lot of the older women, some of them with canes that are in the part of the garden where it slants down, were having trouble walking. And I thought somebody's going to get hurt. So I got some people together and I got some money together and we built 7 beds. No, we built 12 beds on the flat part of Grand Acres, where they were 6 feet long and 2 feet wide. And we gave the women that were having the most struggle those gardens. And while at first they were very upset because they rather have the big mounds of dirt that they couldn't even walk between, and then I was afraid they were going to get hurt at. But by the end of the year, they loved the beds. So then I had a problem where I have 3 or 4 more people that have moved into the neighborhood that want beds, but I'm full. I have no more beds available. So I decided that I wanted to build 7 more beds. I figured out where I could do it on that flat part so that we can bring 7 more people into the garden. I already have a couple of names, but my feeling is that that is probably one of the most active gardens in the whole city, and it has a tradition. And everybody there lives in the neighborhood. They either walk there or they live over on English Street or so. I wanted to go, I have the guys that will help me build the beds, but I needed to get the money to actually purchase the wood. And I figured out the exact amount of wood we made. And that's why you see the figure of $200 and what is it, $64, whatever it is, because I already priced it at Lowe's. And my plan would be to get the money and then go over to Lowe's and buy the wood. And then we will start building the beds probably in mid-February, because people will want to start gardening at the beginning of March. That's what we did last year. And then we'll get, we've set the compost up, so we're going to have plenty of dirt there because they're making their own dirt at Grand Acres by bringing the food and putting it in the composter that we got from the city. And then with the 5 bins, we end up having plenty of dirt so that we can get the dirt from there. So that's the proposal. And you know, I would say right now in Fairhaven, we probably have 250 people gardening. And then like you'll see on that paper, we brought 420 pounds of food into the library last year every Monday. And a lot of people come and take that food, as well as Chibasso brings a big box of rolls so that, you know, people know now to come to the library to get fed. And many of the people at Grand Acres who grow food gave food to me to bring to the library. So that's why we increased so much on the amount we could bring. So that's the proposal.
Great. I have some information to add, but first I want to know, Any questions about the request, about the proposal? Any questions? Adam, just correct me if I'm wrong here, we would be able to put together a little voting tool for people to be able to vote yes or no, the members, and send it out when we send out the minutes or in a few days? Can we do that?
Yeah, no, I can put that together. That's fine.
That would be great. So it's just really an up and down vote. I want to incentivize people to vote yes, because we do have the Chatham Square Neighborhood Association, and we happen to have money in our account. And so what I'd like to offer to the management team is that we would match dollar for dollar. So if the management team contributes half the money, $125, we'll match that dollar for dollar. And that will happen immediately upon hearing that the vote is yes on it. So that's just, we can talk about what the Chatham Square Neighborhood Association is. We can talk about how we get money, all that later. Just know that there's a dollar for dollar match on the table. So the question is, shall we contribute the management team $125 to match? Okay. Any questions? If not, then we're gonna go ahead and, oh, I see a hand up way in the back.
I love this idea. My only concern is about scaling. So if you're already getting interest, what if you continue to scale and more people want, like what is the problem solving there?
The problem solving would be, I have another garden on English Street.
Okay.
And we have 35 people gardening there, but there's another 10 to 15 beds that are available there. And what I would tend to do is, I have some younger people that have contacted me that have moved into the neighborhood. I would send them to English Street because they have mobility to get there. In English Street, I mean, I can walk to English Street. I live on Downing Street, which is not far from Grand Acres. I can walk to English Street. So what I would do is, if I get more than the 7 people, I'll then send them over to English Street, where Ruth runs that garden, and we'll fill them up there.
Okay, so this is word of mouth, like how
Yeah.
to get on the
Yeah.
list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the spirit of community, I'd like to ask anyone who's gonna ask a question, if you could just say your name, you don't have to give us your whole, just so that we just know who you are. Would you be?
Oh, me, I'm Sophia.
Okay, so thank you for your question. Last call on any questions online? I don't see any. Okay, Marianne, thank you very much. Also in this same category, under more of economic development, we're going to give the floor to Eric Gonzalez. And Eric, he was here. Yeah, there he is. Can you come up to that chair? Eric is the staff person for the Grand Avenue Special Services District, also known as GASD, and that's a recent appointment. And he's going to tell you about GASD, basically the Merchants Association here in Fairhaven. Take it away, Eric.
All right, well, good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. Thank you very much for your time. So yes, Grand Avenue Special Service District had elections last March. We've been meeting once a month since then with different people in the community. Let me just go down the list of the commissioners that we have. Some may know. We have Miss Juana from Sasa's Restaurant, Alberto Bustos, who does notaries and tax services, Espresso Latino, Hibaro Barbershop, which is owned by Mr. Silviano Burgos, Turkcell, the cell phone store on Grand by Mr. Musa, who also is going to move soon into a new location where Green's Cleaner used to be at. And so in time, aside from a cell phone store, he's also interested in doing a bagel smoothie shop. So that'll be something to look forward to. We have Mr. Miguel from Cositas Deliciosas, who has wonderful food cups and tamales on the weekends. We have Miss Yolanda Guzman from Miss Lopita Bakery, who excellent bread, and there's a recent article that came out from Arts and
The Arts Council did a really nice article on her paper.
And from Junta for Progressive Action, we have Ms. Jacqueline Gonzalez, who's also one of the commissioners, wonderful, does very, very good work. And Mr. Robert Goring from Fairhaven Community Healthcare, And Ms. Laura Hernandez, who has a juice shop here also on Grand Avenue, also has Zumba classes on some days, so to get the body moving for the new year. And then we have Mr. Carlos Isaguirre, who is from the City of New Haven Economic Development Fund. And then I'm Eric Gonzalez, working currently as manager. So that's the commissioners. Hope everyone can hear me well. Please let me know if I
Yep.
lower my voice. And so we've met with different people from the city. One of them, Ms. Carmen Mendez, who we heard from earlier from LCI. Mr. Lieutenant Fumiati and Chief Jacobson has come to our meetings, talk about issues and how we as an association can provide assistance, work with Lieutenant Fumiati and the New Haven PD. Ms. Cynthia Rivera from New Haven Public Works, talk about the receptacles and some issues regarding the trash. Ms. Anastasia Mixel from the tree system coordinator, talking about how we can keep our trees healthy and which trees need to be addressed for maybe pruning, which will be coming up soon. David Winfield from downtown SSD, he's been a great help assisting Grand Avenue since we're all, including myself, very new to this. Trying to learn how we can be of assistance to the property owners and business owners. So downtown SSD has been a great help. So let's see who else. Mr. B. John from Traffic and Parking, talk about brighter lights on certain areas. So we have new lights coming in for James Street to Ferry, which will illuminate the avenue a little bit more. So that's really good. Miss Caroline Smith, older enough for Ward 9, we did a Zoom class for in English bilingual Zoom class, people who wanted to learn how to use Zoom, which was great. And let's see, so Mr. Governor Ned Lamont came down for a walk on Grand Avenue. That was really good to bring them to certain spots so you can come down and see what we see here on a daily basis. Malachi Bridges from Economic Development also as well, very helpful. And one more person I wanted to include was Mr. Dave Weinberg. We worked with the new teachers who are going to start in New Haven Public Schools from the garden that's in the back of John Martinez School. I forget what it's called, but we walked from there all the way down Grand to the Quinnipiac River. And that was really nice to see that the teachers got to see what students in Fairhaven at least are experiencing, because they got to see a little bit of the good and some things that we can definitely work on. So, and then aside from that, project that we're currently working on are the lights that I mentioned, tree trimming that's coming for I believe this February. We're gonna have our first presentation for grant. There's an NHE3 grant for New Haven businesses where we're having this. Is it Carrie?
Kim
Mendes. And it's a lot of businesses are excited about that because we're talking about money. And so we're also trying to include other businesses, not just Grand Avenue. So it's open to the public. You're all welcome to come by. And for anybody who's looking to start a business, have a business, and learn about grants. We're going to be soon updating our websites, having more of a social media presence and a logo. Also an event for Fairhaven Middle School called Snowball, where there's different sponsors from Yale the president of universities, some city officials. We're also adopting a grade where we get to do an activity with the kids. So I think that'll be really great to connect the students with the business owners and say, hey, I saw you in the school. So that's really exciting. Fairhaven Day Parade also to talking about talks of including businesses here on Grand Avenue who haven't been to neighborhood festivals, would like to participate, open up the opportunity for them to participate, and people who come and visit get to know a little bit more about the businesses and cleanup as well. So we're working with some landscapers. And within this last week, have picked up about 24 bags weighing about 20 to 30 pounds each of just trash. Leaves on the sidewalks have been left from last year, so that's really exciting. And then future projects, we're looking to hopefully this year, work with the business owners who have metal gates, who have heavy graffiti on them, and working something out where we can find a solution for the cleanup, perhaps a painting over, and then working with local artists to maybe do a mural on some of the metal gates, which we hope will divert people from marking over them. Power washing of some of the businesses and the sidewalks, which they give a great appearance. And more capacitation and business education using resources that we already have. One of them being Samo, who offers certain classes for people who are looking to start a business, website building, and computer classes. And then hopefully some banks talk about small loans for business lending. So anything for property owners or business owners who are looking to start up. And then some community cleanup days as well. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions in the room about these opportunities for businesses? So if you know any of the business owners, encourage them to be in contact with Eric. Any questions online before he leaves the chair? I don't see any questions. I know that's me now. Okay. Thank you very much, Eric. Really appreciate it.
For the minutes. I just want the papers for the.
Oh,
minutes.
yes.
Going down.
So all this information that you're hearing is also in the minutes. So that if you hear something and you didn't get it quite all, or you want to share with someone, when we send you the minutes, you'll find especially the contact information that's there. Eric, thank you very much. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, everyone. Thank you.
Okay. So as you can see, if you turn to the back side of your agenda, that's the last presentation in that category. We have no presentations under environment, immigration, health, housing, public safety. So we're moving on to art, culture, and the library. And although he's here, those makes this presentation online. Without any further ado, our librarian, which I will bring him up. There, up.
Hey guys.
There you go.
First of all, at least for all those who are here tonight, I was trying to introduce before the meeting our new public services manager, Robert Kinney, who also brought, again, for those of you who are here, some refreshments from our Wilson Library, who does a major Three Kings Day celebration each year. So feel free to have some of those, and introduce yourself to Robert. Here, there's a lot of exciting things going on. For the first time in almost a year, we have a full staff here. Make sure to drop by and talk to Sharon, our new children's librarian, and Melba Flores, who's our new tech guru on site. Both of them are already working on events, and so our calendars were full again, as opposed to past months. Next Thursday, we'll be inviting Junta back for another, particularly for immigrants, a Know Your Rights workshop. They did their first one last month, and there must have been at least 30, 40 people who were in the room. So if you think you know anyone that could benefit from knowing more about what their rights are, have them come next Thursday. That's the 11th. Also, our friends at Fairhaven Community Health will be in 3 weeks from today. Eddie from Fairhaven Community Health will be talking about the clinic's addiction services. So again, if you know someone who could benefit from some of their solutions and resources, have them come here at 6 o'clock on Thursday, the 25th. I also wanted to confirm we'll be getting more advertising about this soon, but we will be a site for free tax preparation this winter. We're going to do it on selected days. There's not like a specific day that it's always going to be at that time, but we'll be announcing soon that you'll be able to have your taxes prepared for free by the volunteers from VITA. So we're pretty excited about that. And like I said, it'll be free, and there's an opportunity to make an appointment to come in, so you don't have to wait. Like I say, we'll have more information about that coming soon, but there's many exciting things going on. We hope to see you soon.
Thank you very much for that presentation. Any questions in the room or online? I don't see any questions. I'm going to remove the pin so I can see. I don't see any questions. Any questions in the room?
I see none online.
No. Okay, thank you very much, Kirk. Please come join us for the food here. To those of you that aren't here in person, drive on down. There's still some food. Okay, so we're going to move on now to the announcements, and the announcements that I'm aware of is the first one I'm going to make about the Resilience Hub. Then is there someone here from Catholic Charities in person? Okay, in just a moment, I'll give you a chance to make an announcement. And then I want to talk a little bit about the TV raffle. Is there anyone else that wants to make an announcement online or in the room? Okay, so let's get these through these announcements, and then we'll get to the food. We'll start with the Resilience Hub. I'm going to hand these out. This is an invitation, and please take one if you are going to use it or put it somewhere. Don't worry if you're not. I'm going to ask Eric if you would, Eric.
Thanks very much.
Lieutenant, can you talk a little bit about the police substation? Sure, yeah. Actually, it's English on one side, Spanish on the other, so you may want to talk to. Okay, great. So Eric, if you would take any leftovers and give them to the businesses. So some of you may remember that we've had this guy here from CIRCA, the Center for Climate Resilience. We've had him at least for 2 meetings. And here's the flyer up that's being handed out. And I want to make this announcement because this is very important. We have an opportunity from federal money that goes to the state that will come to the city to really create a center that has never existed before. And we know it will be in Fairhaven because it's for Fairhaven, and it's a center for when there is a climate disaster. This could be snow, this could be flooding, this could be who knows what. The world is changing, and we have experts. The people from CIRCA are experts on this subject. But at the end of the day, this is about the community saying, this is what I would need. These are the connections I would need. These are the things that I would need. So next Wednesday, I gave them all away at 6 o'clock. 6 to 7. We're gonna have a meeting, and it will be at Junta for Progressive Action across the street. And this meeting will include free pizza for anyone that shows up. It'll only be an hour long, and it's really to share information with you about what the center could be, what it should be, where it will be in Fairhaven, and to get information from you, to get your thoughts. So if you or anyone you know, there they circle next Wednesday from 6 to 7, right across the street. At least you'll get free pizza, but also more importantly, you'll get an opportunity to talk about your concerns, your questions. There's a lot of information in Spanish and English on that flyer. Please circulate it. And again, I'm going to ask Eric to share it with the businesses to encourage them to post it there. Any questions about this? Any questions online? Any questions in the room? Okay.
Just the question that this flyer will be included with our minutes for the evening, correct?
Absolutely, it's already linked.
Yep. Oh, thank you.
Okay.
She's on, Christina's on, thank you. Okay, so next item is Catholic Charities, 2 minutes. If you would come up here to the seat, I'll put the spotlight on you. And then people will be able to see you. And could you tell us your announcement, please?
Yes, thank you. Hi, my name is Emily Melnick. I'm actually a consultant working with Catholic Charities in David Haven. This is Andrea Swenson. She's with Catholic Charities. Catholic Charities at 501 Lombard Street has been given SAMHSA funding to expand their community-based mental health and substance use services for all ages, for all folks, regardless of ability to pay, immigration status, et cetera. So it's a great opportunity to expand much needed services as part of, and those services will, they already are providing many services for children. The plan is to start in April, and we'll do a more, try to get on the agenda next month for a more formal presentation. But next month, before this, immediately preceding this meeting at 4:30, we would like to hold a focus group where we have $30 gift cards for folks if they would be so willing to attend. And it's a chance to give us information as part of the SAMHSA grant requirement to provide your input into what services in the realm of either for yourselves or for your children or for your family members you're interested in seeing more of in the community.
Thank you very much for that announcement. Any quick questions? We don't usually take questions on announcements, but this is a little bit time sensitive. I don't see any questions in the room. Any questions online?
Just for clarity, you said next month, right after this
Right
meeting?
before this meeting at
Oh, before this
4:30,
meeting.
and I have a sign up
February 1st.
sheet here, and I'm also gonna leave some flyers and the librarian so that they can post them. And if anyone has an organization that they want to post a flyer at, I have some extra copies as well.
Okay, so if you would put those flyers and the sign-up sheet right by the food on that table, that's the best chance of
Okay.
getting someone. Okay,
I thank you.
Frank had it.
okay.
No, I want to make sure I said.
Final announcement before we have 3 alders with us tonight. We're very excited about that. So each of you will get a chance to report. But before that, thank you very much. The final announcement is that we have put together, and I'm gonna change the picture so that people can see it behind where people were speaking. Right there is a brand new, never used, in the box LG 65-inch television. And it's the way we hope to raise several $100s to help the community management team do its work, pay its bills. So please help us if you can. So I have tickets. So far we've only printed 80, but we will print more. But we will print no more than 200 tickets, probably maybe 100 tickets, somewhere in that range. So you have a 1 in whatever number that is chance. The tickets are $10 each. And what we're asking everybody who can afford to do it is at least buy 1 ticket. I know that that is a very large television and it doesn't fit in some people's houses. You can buy a ticket for someone else or give it to someone else. And to sweeten the pot and give you an idea of what I'm talking about, I am going to buy 3 tickets, and Sarah and I donated the television, so it's not for us. I'm going to buy a ticket for the library. I'm going to buy a ticket for the Fairhaven Health Center, and I'm going to buy a ticket for the Mary Wade Home. If there is an agency or organization that you think could, did I mention it? Moonfab, Fairhaven Health Clinic, Mary Wade Home.
And the library.
Yeah, those tickets. So I'm at 4 tickets. So you can do that. More of you can increase the chances. And I'm sure the agencies could use it either for their purposes or they might want to raffle it. So that's what is on the table. Only people that are here will be able to buy tickets today. The other thing you can do, and we have a sign-up sheet, you can take 5 or 10 tickets and sell them, and we'll just make record that you've taken, Lee Cruz took tickets 1 through 10, and then you'll either give us the tickets back, hopefully you'll give us back $100 from selling the tickets. Any questions in the room or online.
I've got a
about-
question that's popping up online. So all of us Zoom folk, we want to get some tickets. How do we go about doing so?
Okay, so the drawing will be in March, so there's a couple of options. You can come to the library. The next time there's a management team meeting and get a ticket then. We have not been able to figure out as an unincorporated entity how we can set up online donations that doesn't involve someone taking sort of personal, responsibility for doing it. So we haven't asked anyone to take that responsibility. So other than coming to the meetings, if you call me on my cell phone number, 203-668-7074, I will be glad to, connect with you around getting some tickets. But you basically have to have either cash or a personal check. Yes.
Just a suggestion, could we leave them in the libraries?
I haven't asked, Kurt, there's a certain, responsibility for taking money. We can ask, if we find some other way to do it, somebody's got a brilliant idea, then I'm all ears.
Yeah, and maybe another agency.
Yeah, okay, so we can talk about that. We have representatives from several of the agencies here. Okay, I don't see any questions. I do want to take this moment to thank Sheila Serrano and Eddie Cordova, who's online. They helped me to put together the flyer about it, which we have a flyer, and we also have these really nice looking tickets. This is a door prize. It is a door prize, not a raffle, because raffles require state authorization. So this is a door prize. And just remember that it's a door prize. If you have a door, then you're eligible to give us money. Okay, and 100% of the proceeds from this go to the management team for the work that we do. I don't see any questions online. I don't see any questions in the room. So we're going to go through the alders. Alder Ellen Cupo is not here. Alder Carolyn Tandy.
Sorry, Lee, before we get to the alders, I just wanted to ask real quick. We were gonna, when we're doing the agenda for tonight, we were gonna do the vote on the garden beds next month. Are we doing that this month? And if so, I should get the information to people.
It would be great if you could put together a yes, no, that we can give a deadline as we typically do, I think Sunday night, like Sunday night.
Yep, Sunday by midnight. All right, I just dropped the vote link into the chat. I'll send it also to Christina so she can put it in the minutes, and Abby can put it in the email. But if you want to chat or vote on the garden beds, I just put the link out for you. Voting members only. And yes, sorry to I'm so excited for Alder. I wanted to get that out there.
Okay, so let's start with our newly elected Alder, Carolyn.
Hey everyone, my name is Caroline, and I am incredibly excited to be here. I've been coming to, I think, the Fairhaven Community Management Team for the last 10 plus years, and I really, really respect the work that you do, and it's just truly an honor to be able to be here and serve you all and serve Fairhaven in this capacity as Alder for Ward 9. So just thank you all for all the work that you do. I just want to spend my time really focusing on the ways that you all can get in touch with me throughout the next couple of years. First, starting with email, and this will be sent through the minutes, I think it already has. But 2 emails to get in touch with me. ward9@newhavenct.gov. We don't have access to it yet, but we should in the next few days. But I'll get all the emails that go to that. And then also another email address, carolineward9nhb@gmail.com. So either of those 2, I'll be able to hear from you. I'll also be setting up a Google Voice number as well, so you can call me or text me. Second is that I'll be hosting office hours twice per month. I actually had my first office hours today. Eric Gonzalez, he is not here. He was my first office hours. There he is. He was my first attendee at office hours, which is very exciting. So I'll be having it twice per month. The first will be happening on the first Thursdays of the month, so right before the Fairhaven CMT meeting, from 4:30 to 6 at the Fairhaven Branch Library. And then the second office hours will be happening on the third Friday of the month, from 3:30 to 5 at Gather Coffee Shop, which is at 952 State Street. And I'll be sending this to the Fairhaven Community Management team to be sent in the minutes as well. And office hours are really a time, I know Alder Miller has been hosting office hours. It's just a time to sit down one-on-one with me to bring up ideas, bring up challenges, and bring up anything that you want to bring up. So come and attend and give me a heads up beforehand by email would be really great. And then one other way to get involved is I have a Ward 9 mailing list, and I sent to the Fairhaven CMT prior to the meeting the link to sign up to the newsletter. This will be a weekly newsletter that includes events or upcoming meetings or different ways to get involved. So definitely sign up for that if you can, and hopefully that can be sent in the chat. That would be great, Adam. Thanks so much. And then my last update is really actually more of a request. So one of my goals and something that's really important to me is just to really know and understand the great and important work that's happening in Fairhaven. Huge thank you to Lieutenant Fimiati. He had Alder Miller and I come out and do a shift with him and his team from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. one evening just to get to see his work in action. Earlier today, I got a tour of Match, which is a program that reduces barriers for individuals to access manufacturing jobs, which is based on Mill Street near Criscola Park. And tomorrow morning, I'll be going to Director Vitale's 911 center to get a sense of what the operations look like. So if you all have any suggestions for places within Fairhaven that's doing really great, important work, please suggest them, send them my way. I think a huge part of doing this work well is really deeply having an understanding of the work that's already happening. And that's my final request. And again, thank you all so much for the work that you do. And I'm so excited for this year.
Thank you. And next we have Alder Miller. I'm just going down the list by number. Alder Miller, do you have anything you'd like to report?
I can do a very quick one. As you can see, our biggest announcement really is that we now have a really badass team, which we're so just a couple really quick things. One is I mentioned, I think in December that Clifford Beers, where I work, received a federal grant to set up full service community schools model starting at Fairhaven School. We entered the planning phase for that project this month. It will continue through the end of June, and we're going to have a press conference on January 22nd, where we'll announce the partners and some of the basic elements. Centro San Jose, I don't know if there still is, one of our partners, and so I want to learn more about what you guys are doing. But the goals are two main goals. One is to set up a partnership structure that coordinates and integrates all of the programs and services that touch children and families in the school. The second is to open up the school as a community center. So we'll be doing a lot of different things to achieve both of those goals. And we'll share more about that as we proceed. On the Strong School, the Penrose received their first tranche of funding, which is small, $850,000 for which is in the scope of the project small, but the funding is starting to come in, and they're deep in the process of trying to secure all of the financing for the project right now. I've been working with Alder Redenti on getting the redevelopment of both Ferry Street and Grand Avenue going in coordination with each other. We've had the money for Ferry Street for a while, but we kind of backburnered it because we wanted to get the money for Grand and do it in an integrated, coordinated way. So we met with Giovanni last month and are beginning the planning for both of those projects.
Just quickly, Giovanni, the city engineer, for people that don't know.
Yeah. The other thing that will be coming up soon is we secured over a year ago now ARPA dollars to renovate the Atwater Center into a community center. And so there will be some meetings coming up to really get that going. That renovation should actually begin this year, and we want to update people and make sure that we're doing it in a way that makes sense. Same thing with Quinnipiac River Park. We got some dollars. So we've gotten a lot of dollars in, and we're sort of in the phase of like making sure the dollars are spent well and that the projects really get off the ground. So Quinnipiac River Park, we secured $250,000 last year, and we want to see the implementation start this spring. So those are just some updates of things we're working on. One other thing I wanted to flag for people is that the city plan department is starting the process for the new Vision 2035 comprehensive plan. The plan we're operating in now extends to 2025, so they're beginning the process for the next 10-year plan. That meeting is going to be next Thursday, January 11th at Betsy Ross, 5:30 to 7, so I can get the details. It's on my Ward 14 Facebook page, but I can also get it to Christina or whomever to share via the management team. I think it's really important that we show up, that Fairhaven is at the table as we think about what the plan will look like for the next 10 years. This is the document that kind of sits on a shelf, but it does get referenced and it's used as justification for policy. And so it is really important that it says what we want it to say.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is there any questions online or in the room? Okay, thank you very much, Alderman Miller. And next, last of the elders present today, but certainly not least, Alder Frank Redente. Now, Frank, do you want us to add, we put Frank Redente, do you want us to add the junior?
Please,
Yeah, there is a Frank Redente senior, so if we could make note, having Christine to add the junior to Frank Redente, that'd be great. Frank, let us know what's going on.
My father's dealt with enough of my crap. Hello, everyone. I'm Frank Redente. I'm the new alder for Ward 15. If you didn't know, I'm also the youth coordinator next door at Fairhaven School and the street outreach worker for the Connecticut Violence and Intervention and Prevention Program here in New Haven, dealing with street violence. So me being an alder was something I never thought would happen, but I was inspired by others to lead. A lot of the people that I currently work with now, Sarah talked about this badass team, but this badass team definitely started by a badass who set a great example in Sarah Miller. So give her a hand, because I don't think I would have gotten into this without seeing the example that she set for me. What was possible out here, you know, with just some pushing and a big mouth. Just my contact info as well, I wanted to update just because we haven't received our access to our ward emails yet. My alternate is Redente 4, the number 4, Alder 15, the number 15 at gmail.com. My phone number is the only one I will have and the only one you need to reach me at, and that's 203-314-4544. It's on me at all times. Most people that have dealt with me already know that I respond almost instantly, Adam, right? Adam,
I saw you looking at your phone. I sent you a text.
So I'm pretty good with responding. If you email or text me, you will get a response. If not that day, by the next day. I pride myself in being responsive. So so there's that. My office hours, I will only have one a month, and that will be alongside my good friend and colleague, Caroline Tom D. Smith, here starting at 4 p.m. for the community management team meeting. Make sure my contact info is in there now, so make sure you sign up for my email list, so that because Caroline and Sarah are both helping me work on my newsletter. I'm not as tech savvy as the young ladies, so bear with my old self. I'll get there eventually. Just some stuff that we've been working on. I have been working closely with Lieutenant Fumiati. We stay in touch quite often, just trying to keep tabs on the street violence and the drug dealing scene. That is what I've done most of my career. Working currently with Eric Gonzalez to try to build a Ferry Street, Lombard Street Merchants Association, something similar to GASD, or in cooperation with GASD, to try to give these merchants on Ferry Street and Lombard Street an opportunity to clean up the area. We all know it's pretty rough over there right now. We are currently planning for Fairhaven Day. There are flyers over there, thanks to the great Kiana from Junta. save the date flyers for Fairhaven Day, May 4th. Time is tentative, 11 a.m. right now for the parade. If you don't know about Fairhaven Day, Sarah Miller and I, along with a slew of others, put together Fairhaven Day last year. And what should have been a small little festival turned into one of the biggest, and from what I'm hearing, the best that Arts and Ideas had anything to do with. So please be a part of it this year. We are looking for artists, organizations to have tables, vendors, volunteers especially. Please come out, give a couple of hours and help us out. Another thing that's very important to me is clean streets. So we, along with Alder Miller and Alder Tommy Smith, we are planning neighborhood cleanup. So please email one of us and volunteer. The last one we did was on Monroe and Alton Street. We had a great turnout. We cleaned up the triangle at Monroe and Alton, which hadn't been cleaned up in 20 years. Thank you to Carmen Mendez and everybody at Parks and Public Works, and also to James Flynn and the Flynn Project, Fairhaven Matters. You'll see a lot of them. James Flynn is a very good friend of mine from childhood who did 30 years in prison, and he's now out here, and his goal is to give back to the community, and his way of doing that is by cleaning up the streets. So you'll see him out there, Fairhaven Matters shirts, just cleaning for no reason other than he wants to do it. So, great guy. And I think that's it for me. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm blessed to be able to be a part of this team. So have a good night.
Thank you very much. Any questions online? Any questions in the room? Okay, so in closing, I just want to remind people, please purchase your ticket tonight if you're in the room, only $10 if you want a ticket, or help me to sell tickets, because this will only work if we sell all the tickets. So please let me know if you'd like to take, we have a sign-up sheet, and if you're not successful, you're not successful, but just please consider trying to take some tickets. It could be 3, 5, or 10 tickets that you take, and that'll help the management team. With that, I'm going to, if there are no other questions or comments or announcements, I'm gonna call for a motion to close the meeting.
I move to close the meeting.
Mary Ann Moran has moved to close the meeting. Can I have a second? A second? Second from Frank Redente. We don't need to vote because we're just closing. Thank you, all of you who joined us online. And if you're close by, come get some food. Thank you all. And I have tickets right here if you want to come up and buy a ticket or two.
I need 4.
And we will also be selling these all through next month. The drawing will be at our March meeting for the TV. So you can do your March Madness on a big old TV.
Hey, Adam,
Yes.
you could just put in the chat that I've already linked the